Hey, David, can I ask you a question about my universe?
Oh, you want to ask me? Instead of making a joke about my height, you ask me a question?
Well, I can't learn about my kind's history without flattering you.
Is that a JoJo reference?
Can I lie and say no?
No, because I know you made a JoJo reference.
What did you want to ask?
What was it? Right. I wanted to ask how we managed to forget so much technology. Like, how did we lose the knowledge to tactical dreadnought armor or night crafting? Like, how is it possible for an entire species to just forget how to make things that are that important?
Oh, actually a good question. To us it seems rather insane, but I want to ask a question. Do you know how to smelt steel? No? Well, I do, and that's actually enough to keep the knowledge on something moving forward. I know the basics of firearm making and weapon crafting, but I can't say I know how to make ammunition. But let's imagine the situation. You build a machine that knows how to make, say, a cell phone. Not only does it know how to, but it also can make them too, if given the materials. In some situations, I can also make the things to make the materials. Now, imagine this machine you made can live for hundreds of generations with absolutely zero problems.
Okay, I'm imagining this. Sounds like there would be no reason to remember how to make a cell phone. What's a cell phone?
Voxcaster, essentially. But now looking at that, you're absolutely right. And that's what an STC is. A standard template construct, or STC, are essentially an AI computer and machine that are completely self-sufficient. So during the dark age of technology, they essentially made a bunch of these things to do things for them, while building the Men of Iron in order to do a bunch of physical labor that were a bit dangerous. Dark Age humanity made a specific STC with knowledge on genetic codes in order to create and build stouts, and these STCs are the Votan. These Votan eat their dead babies in order to gain any knowledge they learn. But the Votan are so old and in constant use that they're getting slower with so much info in their Google Drives. Now we add that the Age of Strife was, from humanity's perspective, started because of the artificial intelligence got pissed off that they were doing the things they were designed for. These AIs proceeded to rebel against mankind and nearly eradicated it. With that, the Mechanicum put restrictions on their own capabilities to create new things, to prevent such situations. AI became outlawed, and so did the creation and allowance of STCs, for risk of another rebellion. The modern claim is to try and not fly too close to the sun. When STCs get found, they're essentially ripped apart so that the Adeptus Mechanicus can figure out what they could do and how to do it. From the centuries, possibly millennium, of not making things and not needing to know how to teach new generations how to make these things, it led to humanity losing the records of how to make said things. From the Age of Strife to the Iron Rebellion, it led to humanity afraid to build too much new things for fear of another genocide. So, what led to humanity going backwards in technological fields of the 41st millennium? 1. Comfort. Humanity didn't need to know anymore. 2. Fear. Humanity was afraid to know. And 3. Thinning. The SDCs that remained are far spread, only a few worlds having them. Some of them having been destroyed before being found. Others destroyed before they could be reverse engineered. And that's why tech was on the decline in this setting. Because Belsarius Call has been changing things. He has to do it behind closed doors, but he's been making an attempt. He takes STCs, argues that he makes some lucky guesses to build what could be seen as a new thing. What I believe he's actually does is reprogram the STCs to have his new inventions in it. This can lead to some issues though. If he's overwriting STCs, it could lead to something being lost so something new could be made. But if he's putting the new program with the old program, it could corrupt some things in the STC too. Maybe there's locked knowledge or information on top of what was found. This makes the destruction of STCs after the Mechanicus believes it stripped all knowledge out of them very dangerous. But an STC has capabilities to hack a device too, leading to other problems. All in all, there's no victory in this. Now, you'd think that the people would be able to reverse engineer some things, right? Like, there's tactical dreadnought armor that was made within the past 10,000 years by Vulcan himself, in fact. So, how did that become lost knowledge? That I really can't tell you. I can make a guess, but I can't confirm jack shit about this. My belief is that the Mechanicus, after the heresy, was afraid to reverse engineer certain technologies because if they fucked up, it would leave them with one less. Vulcan didn't exactly write much down, like Lehman Russ and Gilliman did. With much less Terminators, they started scavenging Terminator armors from battlefields, but needing to be careful as Chaos corrupted Terminator armor could be permanently damaged and permanently unusable, needing to be destroyed. Chaos could take Terminator armor from the Imperium though, and easily use it, though the new pattern of armor, the Indomitus pattern, would not fit them well. But the forces of Chaos are not afraid to break shit, and the Dark Mechanicum are not afraid to try and expand, as much as the Mechanicus are. Now, I brought up the Indomitus pattern. This is not a new pattern. It's actually an old pattern from the Horus Heresy, but sized up for the new, larger Primaris Marines. But that means they figured out how to adapt and fix and change old armors of the past. So, knowledge on Terminator armor is not totally lost, they just can't make new stuff? Despite the fact they would need to reverse engineer it to make it work with the new Primaris Astartes? This may just be a writing oversight for all I know. I can't really make a statement on that. But that's just talking about Terminators. Titans and Knights are different. There does seem to be some Forge worlds that make Titans, though most seem simply to fix Titans. But fixing such things should give them knowledge on how these things works, and how to make them. But For some reason, they don't seem to be able to, but we'll randomly see a new knight or titan show up in various forms of 40k media. Books, shows, and games and the likes. This brings up the question of how many titans and knights do they have if they seem to be destroyed every time they show up, usually in a glorious display. So there's some problems with how this works, but the reasons tech have stagnated is simply laziness, fear, and rarity. 3 simple problems that can lead to any idea dying on a cold, hard stone. Now, shove off.